If you were given 30 minutes to sit down with the architect of your life, what would you ask? Imagine that moment you're face to face with the source of all your experiences, and you have one burning question. For that many, question might be, who am I really? And why do I keep making the same mistakes? I'm Mark Roach. Welcome to Transcendent, my YouTube channel where I share my journey around the world through life, crossing the wide spectrum of human experience from high to low, at least as most people in American society would define them. This channel is all about inspiring common people to find their power, and today I'm launching a new series called Design Without Dogma, Human Design for Real Life. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, oh great, another personality system with a fancy jargon that's going to tell me who I am. I get it. I was skeptical too. The internet is flooded with human design content that feels inaccessible, overly mystical, and just plain confusing. But what I'm offering in this series is different, a practical, no-nonsense approach that strips away the dogma and focuses on what actually works in real life. We live in an illusion, the illusion that we are a wholeness, a oneness. And this belief has driven humanity to seek wholeness in everything. But what if I told you that at your core, you're not about oneness at all? Human design reveals something profound. We are fundamentally dualistic beings. And this and that is not a single unified self. Think about it. Have you ever felt like different parts of you are in conflict? Your mind wants one thing, your body seems to pull you in another direction. You make decisions that logically make sense, but somehow feel wrong. This isn't a flaw in your character. It's somewhat by design. What you're looking at in human design, a body graph in this system, is your conscious self, who you think you are, and your unconscious design, the body intelligence that operates beneath the awareness. These aren't just different aspects of the same thing. They're two entirely different databases of information calculated from positions approximately 3 months apart in your birth data. And here's where it gets interesting. For millennia, we've been putting all our faith, all our trust, all our hope into just one aspect of this duality, our conscious mind, what we think we want, at the expense of the other. And learning through life to allow the other to really have some say. One of the biggest struggles people have with human design is the technical language, gates, channels, centers, profiles, and it can feel like learning a foreign language just to understand yourself. But in Design Without Dogma, we're going to cut through all that. I'm focusing on the core principles that actually change lives, not the esoteric details that leave most people confused and overwhelmed. Let me offer you a metaphor that changed everything for me. Imagine your life as a car journey. In this journey, there are 3 different components. 1, the vehicle, your physical body and its genetic coding and intelligence. 2, the passenger, which is your conscious mind, the I that you identify with. 3, the driver, the mysterious force that holds everything together and determines direction. For most of us, there's a fundamental confusion about who's who in this arrangement. We believe the passenger, our conscious mind, is actually the driver and responsible for controlling the vehicle. But here's the truth. Your conscious mind was never designed to drive. It was designed to be a passenger, to observe, to witness, to be aware. Think about your body for a moment. If your conscious mind had to manage your heartbeat, your digestion, your immune responses, and all the complex biological processes happening right now, you'd fail miserably. Your body has its own intelligence. The same thing is true for navigating life. Your body has intelligence for moving through the world correctly that your mind simply doesn't possess. As Ra Uru Hu, the founder of human design, put it, quote, "We are passengers in these vehicles. We sort of rent them. They are short term. They're certainly not ours," end quote. Now, I know this concept can feel threatening. Our society values mental control and intellectual achievement, education above all else. And that's a trap you can fall into here in using human design. The idea of surrendering that control or your ego or your intelligence or your wisdom, that may feel counterintuitive and probably scary. I struggled with this myself for months because what I discovered was liberating in ways that I never expected. It didn't require me to adopt any spiritual beliefs or cosmic theories. So if we're not meant to be driven by our conscious minds, why does it feel so natural to let our thoughts make our decisions? Well, the answer is conditioning. In human design, in the body graph of human design, the colored areas represent what's consistent and reliable in you, your genetic imprint. But the white areas, these are what we call open centers. They're not broken or empty. They're where you're designed to take in and amplify the energy of others. These open centers are receptors, and they're biologically designed to be attracted to what you are not. This isn't a design flaw. It's how we ensure genetic diversity and survival as a species. We're meant to be attracted to difference. But here's the problem. When you allow these open centers to define you and drive your decisions, you end up living what human design calls the not self lie. I call it self betrayal. But you're pursuing what you're not rather than expressing what you are. For example, if you have an open emotional center, you'll try to avoid confrontation and truth. If you have an open G center, you'll constantly search for identity and direction. If you have an open sacral center, you'll never know when enough is enough. If you have an open splenic center, you'll hold on to things that aren't good for you. And your mind, believing it's in charge, will make decisions based on these conditioned patterns rather than your true nature. This is why so many of us feel lost, anxious, and disconnected. We're literally trying to be someone that we're not. Unlike many human design teachers who present this as some mystical cosmic truth that you must accept on faith, in Design Without Dogma, I'm going to be straight with you. The real value of the system isn't in its spiritual origins or complex calculations. It's in the practical results it delivers when applied to real-life situations. I've seen hardcore skeptics become believers, not because they suddenly embraced the metaphysical aspects, but because they tried the experiment and their lives improved in tangible ways. So how do we break free from this conditioning? How do we allow the vehicle to be driven correctly? Well, human design offers two simple but powerful tools: strategy and authority. Your strategy is how you're designed to engage with the world based on your type. There are four main types in human design. First, generators. That's 67% of humanity. And they're designed to respond to life, not to initiate. 2, projectors, 21% of humanity, designed to wait for recognition and invitation. And 3, 9% of humanity are designed to inform before they act. And then finally, 4, reflectors, that's 1.4%, the smallest section of humanity. They're designed to reflect and wait through a lunar or moon cycle. So your authority is your body's way of making decisions. It's not your mind figuring things out. It's a specific intelligence center in your body that knows what's correct for you. Some people have emotional authority and need to wait through their emotional wave before deciding. Others have sacral authority and need to listen to their gut response. Some have splenic authority and feel immediate intuition. From a reading, you can figure out which one of these is right for you, and you don't have to learn every one of these. You can learn more about your own, and maybe you have some curiosity about how it compares to some of these others, and you can look into those. But the basic thing here is that you stop fighting against your own nature. This isn't about surrendering your intelligence at all. It's about putting your mind in its proper role as the passenger who gets to witness and appreciate the journey rather than stress about controlling it. As Ra Uru Hu said, the moment that you give authority to the vehicle, only then can you begin the journey to awakeness. End quote. One of the biggest barriers to human design's wider adoption is that it's often presented as an all or nothing system wrapped in pseudo-scientific language. You either buy into the whole cosmic framework or you're out. But that's not how I see it. In Design Without Dogma, I'm offering you practical tools that you can use regardless of your beliefs. You don't have to accept every aspect of human design to benefit from its core insights and decision-making and help you find more authentic living. Now, I want to be honest with you. This isn't an overnight transformation. Human design teaches it takes approximately 7 years to fully decondition at the cellular level. And from my experience, it can take more than that. But 7 is a number that Ra grabbed onto when he was beginning to market this program. 7 years to unlearn the patterns that you've been with since your early childhood. Now, this isn't about instant gratification. This is a journey of awareness or toward awareness. And when you first feel and first begin your experiment with your strategy and authority, your mind will resist. You're going to get discouraged and you're going to push away. It's been in charge for so long that it won't easily surrender control. But gradually, as you see how following your body's intelligence leads to more flow and less resistance in your life, your mind begins to trust the process and it begins to enjoy its new role as the passenger. And here's where it gets beautiful. When your mind is freed from the burden of making decisions it was never equipped to make, it can do what it's truly designed for, to witness, to be aware, and to see the patterns and connections that make life rich and meaningful. Your mind becomes an incredible tool for outer authority, sharpening your unique perspective with others, rather than trying to be your inner authority. As one human design teacher put it, the mind is beautiful when it's freed of its ugliness. When we take away the distorted inadequacies guiding us, then its magic is released. I have seen this in many people who have given up on human design, frustrated with the way it's presented and the infighting in the human design groups, because they expect immediate results, or they are trying to play out some role or identity that they're working from their mind rather than from who they really are, or because they got lost in the technical details and mystical language. That's why in Design Without Dogma, I'm focusing on small, manageable experiments that you can try in your everyday life right away. We'll build your understanding gradually with real-world examples and applications every step, from career decisions to relationship dynamics to finding your purpose. So what does all this mean for your life right now? It means that you have a choice. You can continue letting your conditioned mind drive your vehicle, making decisions based on who you think you should be rather than who you are. Or you can begin to experiment with living in accordance to your design. This isn't about following someone else's path or becoming like someone or following a guru. It's about discovering your unique contribution to the world. As you live as yourself, you stop fighting against your own nature. You make decisions that are correct for your body and your life. You experience less resistance and more flow. Your relationships improve because you're no longer projecting these false expectations upon others. You discover your unique gifts and purpose. As Ra Uru Hu said in his final message, quote, "Follow your strategy and authority and love yourself. It is so wonderful to be you, and it's a joy to discover," end quote. What makes Design Without Dogma different is that I'm not here to mystify human design or make it complex or sell you something. It needs to be simple. I'm not going to ask you to make anything or to take anything on faith or adopt a new belief system. Instead, I'm offering you a practical framework that you can verify and use. It's based on my own experiments and those that others who I've worked with, I mean, several hundred actually. We'll cut through the jargon, focus on what works in real life, and build a community of people who are interested in results, not in dogma and control systems and rituals. In the upcoming videos in this series, we'll dive deeper into each type, explore how to recognize and work with your authority, and look at practical applications for relationships, career, and personal growth. No mystical claims, just practical tools for living a more authentic life. And then I'll branch out and give more specifics for the strategy and authority for each more general path in life. Glad you're here. I'm Mark Roach, wishing you peace on your journey toward transcendence and all the best.